You need a hobby in 2025, okay? Hello, my loves. My name is Jasmine. I'm an inner work coach, and I am here to help you learn to love your life. And today we are going to be talking about the one thing you absolutely need to add to your vision board, which is a hobby for the new year. If you are looking at your vision board and you're like, okay, I have exercise on there, I have eating healthy, getting fit, and you're like, oh, I don't really need a hobby. Like, what would be the point of that? Take a social media break. Take a break from being on your phone. Take a break from just binge watching the same TV show that you've been binge watching for the past 2 years and your little comfort show. Take a break from that and you will realize how much time you spend really doing nothing. Nothing that's creative, nothing that's helping you move forward in life, nothing that's really relaxing and peaceful. That was a combination. Relaxing and peaceful for your nervous system. How much time you spend just on technology in general. Take a break from that and then you'll realize, I don't have any hobbies. Something else that will really get you to realize that you just spend all your time on your phone is if you go into a job interview and they're like, what do you do for fun? And you're like, I don't know, like my answer used to be nap. Like, I don't know, I nap and, I watch TV or like hang out with my friends. That's why hobbies are so important, because it helps to make you an interesting person, but it also is just, it's so good for you. Pay attention to what you spend doing and how much time you spend doing it. I know for me personally, like the little screen time thing, I'm kind of numb to how many hours I spend on my phone, because I'm like, I'm on FaceTime, I'm texting, I'm not just spending my time on social media doing nothing. Sometimes it is just time that we just spend looking at other people's lives and just life is going by and we're not doing something that we really truly enjoy. It's just dopamine hit after dopamine hit after dopamine hit online. And then when you look outside, and like I have my window behind you guys, but like I can see the birds and like the birds and nature and everything that should just be refreshing and relaxing and like just beautiful to us. We're numb to it because we're dopamine addicts. So we need to start doing things with intentionality if we are going to love our lives, because when you start to let life happen to you, it unfolds into unrest. Good things that you want to happen, goals that you want to have, like these things aren't just going to happen if we're just sitting back and letting life go by. You're like, okay, I'm supposed to have a hobby, but like how do I pick one? Like what? There's so many different things out there and maybe not everything is completely interesting to you. So I would look at 3 things. Number 1, what is something that you used to enjoy doing as a kid that you've stopped doing? So this can be like, for example, like my husband plays flag football and he enjoyed playing football as a kid. So he found a team where he could play football again. If you enjoy doing something as a kid, chances are you're still going to enjoy doing it as an adult. You just have to find an adult medium to do it. For me, also, volleyball was one. I know that there's volleyball leagues out there. I've been making excuses, so maybe that's something I'll be doing in 2025, is figuring out how to get back into that, because I think my church has like an open gym or something like that on Mondays. So getting back into stuff like that. Or it can be something completely new. Maybe you've done a lot of stuff as a kid and you're like, I just need to try something new. I've done a bunch of hobbies. I've done a whole bunch of different things. Again, there's so many different things to get into. You could rock climb. Like you could hiking. Hiking is one that I'm going to get into this year once the weather warms up. Or it can also be something that you find really cool. You just have to start this. What happens a lot of the times is we're like, okay, well, I need to start a new hobby, so let me do research to see which would be a good hobby to start. Then I need to see which materials are the best materials to buy for whatever hobby I'm doing. Or maybe I should do another hobby, and it just spirals off into you never doing it. You just need to start. For example, for me, I was interested in crocheting, still am. But when I started I'm like, listen, I cannot spend any more time on my phone watching TV. When I decided to do that, just went on Amazon, bought a little starter crochet kit and just started. I got the kit in 2 days, and then just go ahead and start learning how to do it, because the more, especially when you're new at something, once you get the materials and you start learning how to do it, you're gonna actually learn the materials that you need versus the materials that everybody says that you should get. I'm not a huge let me research things person, so I may be biased. I'm kind of like, you just need to try it, and then once you try it, you're gonna know whether or not you like it and which direction to go into. And it doesn't have to be something that's super expensive either. Also, make sure that you push through the uncomfortableness of being new at something, because what tends to happen is we get a hobby and then we start it, and it's like, whew, you got through that initial push of you starting, which is huge. Congratulations, because that's not easy. But you get through the initial push of starting the hobby, right? And then you are not good at it. And one thing about hobbies is you don't have to be good at them. But if you're anything like me, I don't like being bad at things. I really like being the best at everything that I do. So the idea of sitting there and doing something that I'm not remotely good at is kind of annoying. So once you decide to do something, you stick to it. If you watch, what's the name of the video? How to Build Self-Confidence, my video that I made a couple weeks or however many ago. I'll put it in the link in the description. But when you say that you're going to do something, you need to do it. Otherwise, you are going to destroy your self-esteem. And so if you say that you're going to start, like I'm saying I'm going to start hiking this summer, if I say that, or spring really, but if I say that I'm going to start that, and then it gets to spring, and then I'm like, I'm not really sure if I'm like an outdoorsy person, and well, what about the weather and the rain, and my hair is straight, and what am I going to do with my hair? No, if I said that I'm going to do that, that's what I'm going to do, because I don't have time to destroy my self-esteem over making false promises to myself. It's not cute, not fun. Push through the uncomfortableness of doing it. Maybe even give yourself a time limit to see if you like it, because sometimes like you start it for like a week and you're like, this isn't working. Give yourself a month to see if you actually like it. And in order to give yourself adequate time and an adequate chance to actually do your hobby, you need to limit your other dopamine fix that you've been doing so far that's been keeping you interested. For example, guys, I started reading last year. That's my hobby right now that I'm just super into, as you can see from my books. But I love reading. Like, I love reading. My fantasy romance books, like I started reading other books before this, and I started reading other books before I read this series, but this series right here, still to this date, after a year of consistent reading, like still my favorite series. Absolutely love it. If you don't love it, I know it's popular and some people aren't, whatever. I absolutely love the series. So it's A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, if you can't see it from there. But when I first started reading, what was I saying? The reading distracted me. Oh, with reading. Okay, so when I first started reading, I started on a book that this girl, super sweet. I was at a work event and I was telling this girl that I wanted to get into reading for a hobby, and I was doing all the things that I just told you guys not to do, where I'm like, oh, well, maybe, I don't know what book to start with. I don't know about this, I don't know about that. And it was nighttime and it was winter and it was freezing and it was raining at this work event. And this girl, because I saw her reading a book, she was like, I'm like, yeah, I just want to get into reading. It's just a hobby that I want to start doing. And she was like, oh, like what kind of stuff are you like trying to read? And I'm like, I don't really know. Like, I don't know, girl. Like, I'm saying I'm trying to do it, but I've just kind of been saying that. And she's like, you know what? I have a really good book for you. I'm going to go to my apartment, because I work in leasing. But she's like, I'm going to go to my apartment. I'm going to grab it for you. And I'm going to come back and bring it. And I was like, no, like, you do not have to leave this event, go out in the rain and the cold to grab this book and come back. And she was like, no, I got you. I'm going to go out. I'm going to grab this book. It'll be fine. And I was like, okay, like, thank you. So she leaves, she comes back, grabs the book, and she's like, it's a really good book. She's like, it's a bit sad, but you know, there's your warning. Really good book. And then beginning of 2024, I got sick. Just like I did at the beginning of 2025. I don't know what it is about that first week of January. I was sitting in bed and was like, well, I literally have nothing else to do. I think I was trying to limit my time on social media, and then I got sick, or I wasn't really spending as much time on social media. But because I limited that time and I didn't have a TV show to watch, I didn't feel like watching any movies, I was able to focus on reading and push through reading. And I'm like, okay, once you get through the initial discomfort of this is so boring and staring at words on a paper and this just is not my vibe, you push through that, you're like, oh, this is actually kind of interesting. This is actually kind of fun. Finished my first book. Oh my gosh. I was like, wow, I can do anything. I just finished a book. Like, I haven't finished a book for reading for fun in years. I hadn't finished it in so long. And I was like, wow, this is amazing, which is why doing a hobby is so great. Like, if you're trying to build your self-esteem, get a hobby, because it is going to build your self-esteem. You're like, wow, I can accomplish something. You're learning something new. You're getting more information, which is so good for our brain and for our mental health. Like, it's amazing. A hobby will literally change your life, but you have to push through the initial discomfort of having one. Now, I know that I spent a lot of time talking trash about like movies and TV shows, and if you're just watching technology, but I actually believe that watching TV shows and movies can count as a hobby as well. Like, my older brother, he can binge watch a show down. Like, any popular, as long as it's a good show, like, he really genuinely likes good TV. And if you are intentionally watching TV shows, because it's like, okay, I'm gonna watch the 10 best TV series that's rated the best TV series, or I'm gonna watch like the Marvel movies, I'm gonna watch that all the way through. The point is to have intentionality, like I said, because in order to live your best life, in order to genuinely love your life, you have to do stuff with, I'm trying to think of another word other than intentionality. Hey Siri, give me synonyms for intentionality.
Some synonyms for intentionality include intention, intent, deliberateness, calculation.
Deliberate, that's a good one. Okay. You have to be deliberate about your life. And that includes the time that you spend having fun. Not to say that you can't ever be on social media, you can't ever mindlessly watch TV or watch movies or anything like that, because you absolutely can. But it's more so that when we spend so much time in our free time, you go to work and you work 9 to 5, or you work however many hours, like 8, 10, 12, double, whatever, and you get home and you're like, oh, finally, and then you get on your phone and you have your little dopamine hit, and then you do whatever vice you have, and then you go to sleep, and you're avoiding going to sleep, because if you go to sleep, that means you have to wake up the next day. You're not excited to do anything when you wake up the next day, because life just kind of sucks. And it's like, oh, if I go to sleep now your sleep schedule's all messed up. You're going to sleep at 2 o'clock, and then you're waking up late for work, and things just kind of spiral, and they snowball out of control into being in this weird, like, depressive state where you're like, what's the point of life? Like, I don't really have fun doing anything. Or again, if you're like me, where I was living my life based off of vacations. Like, I'm like, I just have to get to my next vacation. And then when me and my husband decided that we were going to go on a stricter budget and we were going to stop going on vacation basically every quarter, I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, literally, that was like, that's all I had to look forward to. So I'm like, you need to find something with intent that you are doing every single day that makes you just enjoy life. Like, reading, for me, it's a beautiful, and sometimes you need an escape from life. I think that's what a hobby is. But it's a beautiful escape from life, and you put yourself in this world, and then when it takes me out of the world that I'm in from reading, it helps me pay attention more to just regular details of life. Because when you're reading a book and you have the description of, oh, you know, the wind was blowing on her face and she could smell like the winter air, and you know, she's walking and heard the crunch of the snow on the ground. It's like, yeah, there's so much like little beauty and little things to notice in life, like the way that the sun streams in, and just the way that food smells, and just enjoying life genuinely. And my hobby helped me realize that. So that's why a hobby isn't just something to do so that you can say that you're doing something with your life other than being on social media. It'll really enrich your life. And enriching your life is going to help you love life every single day. So you're not just waking up and being like, oh, another day at work. Can't wait till the weekend so I can sit in bed and do nothing. So once you got your hobby, you were able to start, yay. And then you push through for like a month or so, yay. Now that you've done that, weed out the hobbies that you don't like, because you're supposed to enjoy your hobby. And I know that I have a tendency to people please, as I'm sure that I've mentioned before, but I have a tendency to people please. And with people pleasing, it comes in more than one form. And one of the forms that it comes in is doing things so that it can look impressive or be impressive, like running a marathon. Not to say that I wouldn't ever run a marathon, because I think that, well, right now I'm not really feeling it, but if I were to pick up the hobby of running and I didn't really like it, like I realized after a while I didn't like it, but I'm like, I started running, and then you start to talk to people about your hobbies because it's exciting, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this new thing and I'm having so much fun doing it, and like you should start it, and you try to get other people involved in your hobbies. Again, it's great. But I'm like, I pick up running, and then I started telling people like, oh yeah, I've been running, like I'm thinking about doing a marathon. Now you have people following up with you, oh, are you still doing that marathon, and blah blah blah. You have your family and your friends bragging about you. Like that's what we did with my brother when he ran his marathon. I told everybody. And so it's like, if he didn't enjoy running anymore and he wanted to find a different hobby, it would be awkward, because it's like, I already told all these people that I was doing it. Now sometimes that's a good way to help you kind of follow through what you're doing. But don't continue doing something just because you know that other people are going to find it impressive. Your hobby is for you. Like, girl, if you don't like the hobby that you chose, you can choose something else. You know how many hobbies there are to pick from? So many random different things that you can choose from. If you're having trouble, go to Google, list out the hobbies, and then say that one's something. You know what? We can even... This is from Google, list of hobbies. Learning, dance, photography, woodworking, painting, writing, drawing, pottery, handicraft, basketball, winemaking, shopping, be careful with that one, video games, acting, soccer, archery, baseball, roller skating, running, table tennis, glass blowing. Like, there is a bunch of hobbies, and there's so many different ones that you can choose from. Pick one, get it started, and then let me know how it goes. If you have a hobby that you already know that you are doing, and you know you really like it, or you think that other people should start it, or one that you've been thinking about doing, leave it in the comments below. Let me know what you're thinking about doing. But yeah, it's a very cool thing to have. Hobbies really make you an interesting person. And if you're like in a position where you're trying to, like I said, you're interviewing for a job, you're at networking opportunities, you're dating, you're just trying to enjoy life more, and you're talking to other people, I'm telling you, being able to have something to talk about that you're doing, it's such a connector for humans. And I love human connection. Like, we are so meant to be in connection and community with each other. And as much as I love how we can do that with social media, because social media is a huge connector of things that are relatable, and just being able to hear different sounds from TikTok and laugh over the same things and have that sense of joke and community. So it is a connector, but there's other ways to connect with people, to build relationships. Hobbies can put you in environments. Like, if you do dancing and you go to a dance class, now you're with other people that are interested in the same things, or going in the same direction. You're doing something fun together, similar love. Like, you can make new friends. Like I said, you can meet a romantic partner. It's something you can do to build with your romantic partner. So key. So again, if you have anything that you've been doing, anything you're working on, or any hobbies that you're super excited about, leave them in the comments below. As always, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope that you have a beautiful day.